In this module, we'll be working on the image of the city. Let's start with a quick overview of the start scene. We already have some objects positioned to save some time, like buildings. City furniture from Evermotion are placed along the road. They are on a separate layer to keep file organized. The trees in the scene come from glow plants, and we converted them to proxies to make your viewport work smooth. They are also on the separate layer, so you can easily turn it off when needed. The background buildings are located on a different layer as well, and the buildings, which are our main focus in the scene, are on the BLD layer, divided into sub-layers for different parts of the building. And of course, the rest of the surroundings is on the main SIT layer. Okay, now you will find the street model from Evermotion on the dedicated to this layer. I show you how to edit the model to make it work in our scene. The model consists of two main parts, the intersection and the road. It's smart to do it this way, so now we only need to copy the road model how many times is needed. Let me show you how the model is done. We'll clean the bit as well, as we don't need everything from there. I ungroup the objects first. Now let's hide the road object. You can see that all of the cracks and sewers are the objects. I leave it here for now. Let's delete all the city furniture from here, as we already have it set up in the scene. And let's do the same for another group. Right-click, ungroup. Now right-click and I hide all. Let's group the objects back. Right-click and group. Click S on your keyboard. With the snap toggle option on, snap the intersection here. Similarly for the road. We can copy the object on another side. Okay, let's turn on all the layers back so we start to setting up the camera. We'll see later how much of the road we'll see. Go to Cameras, choose Corona Cam. We'll position it somewhere here. I set up the camera view on the right-hand side. First of all, let's set up the height. I start with 120 centimeters here. I prefer lower cameras in general, so a bit lower than eye level in this case. Now, let's set the ratio. Let's do custom 4:5. Vertical ratios works the best for high buildings. We can lock the ratio and now set the proper size of the image. For testing, 2.5K will be more than enough. Shift plus F to show the save frames. Let's move the target up first. To see more of the buildings, we can lower the focal length value. 40 mm. Maybe even less, 24 mm to make the composition more dynamic. As the target and camera are not at the same level, we need to turn on the automatic vertical tilt option. Okay, it's getting better. Let's move the target up to have our buildings in the frame. Even more, we want to have more of the breadth on top. See more sky. It's important to think about it as it helps composition. Also, we can use the tree on the left-hand side of the frame to nicely crop the view. Let's adjust the position of the camera. I want to go with the rule of thirds here. Something like this works nicely. We can try to adjust target a bit as well. Actually, let's turn on the composition script and use a bit of help. Okay, so the left-hand side of the central building is positioned along the line, which is good. The building ends more or less in 1/3. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to look good. We can adjust the position of the tree though. I like to see more of this in the frame. Actually, there is not enough of the ground visible, and because of this, the composition is not balanced. So let's move the camera back to see more of the road and pedestrian crossing in the front. We can also use the coordinate display at the bottom to move the camera if that's easier for you. I like to see more of the pedestrian crossing. Let's adjust the target. Okay, it doesn't work as the building is too high in the frame. Let's adjust the focal length in this case. We can try 22 mm. Okay, better. But now we have to adjust the tree again to fit the composition better. You can see that this is a bit of back and forward process. However, it's worth to spend some extra time to make sure the composition works, as this is the foundation of every great image. Finally, adjust the target so we have the edge of the building along the line. Okay, it works now. At the end, some final touches. I'll adjust the tree position a bit as it's too much of it in the frame. And I move the trees on another side a bit as well. I want to give a bit of breath here. So I move these trees more to the right-hand side of the frame. Okay, I'm happy with this camera for this moment.